This is Top Accolade African News. I am Abiodun Mohammed. 65 survivors of a Kenyan Christian cult are facing charges of attempted suicide after refusing to eat meals given to them at a rescue center where they had been taken. At court on Monday, the prosecution applied to have the survivors remanded in prison where mental and medical assessments could be done, as the rescue center would no longer owe them. A ruling on the application is expected later in the week. It is a criminal offense to take your own life in Kenya under laws introduced by British colonizers. Those same rules in England were scrapped more than 60 years ago, and Kenyan campaigners are fighting to end them in their country too. The 65 survivors are said to be followers of Pastor Paul Mackenzie, the alleged cult leader, who is said to have convinced his congregants to fast to death in order to go to heaven. Over 280 bodies have so far been recovered in shallow graves in the vast Shapopola forest near the coast where the pastor operated. 10 were exhumed on Monday. Mozambique has offered to supply 100 megawatts of electricity to neighbouring South Africa amid a supply deficit and regular blackouts. The offer, announced in the South African capital Pretoria on Monday, follows a request by the South African government last month. Mozambique's Mineral Resources and Energy Minister, Carlos Zacarias, said the commercial agreement defining the price and how and when the energy would be channeled to South Africa should be closed very soon. South Africa's Electricity Minister, Goshe Ntshuramugoba, said he was happy with the swift response by the Mozambican government, adding that technicians were working to make operations viable. Zacarias announced that Mozambique would make available within 6 months another 600 megawatts of additional energy. The Nigerian Senate has elected a new president after a short voting process on Tuesday. Godswill Akpabio, aged 60, of the ruling All Progressives Congress (APC), received 63 votes to defeat his rival, fellow party member Abdulaziz Yari. Akpabio was seen as the favorite going into the election and was backed by a majority of southern politicians for the post. He will now lead 108 other senators who are being inaugurated on Tuesday. Akpabio, a former governor of Akwa Ibom State, was also a minister in the past administration. John Umfru Indi, a towering figure in Cameroonian politics over several decades, has died, aged 81. He founded the opposition Social Democratic Front (SDF) in 1990 and was at the front line of multi-party democracy in Cameroon, defending English-speaking minority rights in the country. According to a press release from his SDF colleagues, Fru Indi died in the capital, Yaoundé, on Monday evening after a long period of illness. His career included several presidential bids, and he claimed to have been the true winner of the 1992 election that saw President Paul Biya re-elected. Fru Indi surprised everybody in 2018 when he decided not to run for top office. He was preparing to retire as a leader of his political party later this year. Eritrea has rejoined the East African Regional Bloc, the Intergovernmental Authority on Development (IGAD), after pulling out 16 years ago. Information Minister Yemane Meskel tweeted on Monday that Eritrea, in quote, resumed its activity and took its seat at the ongoing IGAD summit in neighbouring Djibouti. The regional grouping's executive secretary, Wokne Gebeyehu, said he was delighted to welcome Eritrea's foreign minister, Osman Saleh, as he joined the meeting. Eritrea suspended its membership of the body in 2007 in protest against Ethiopia's military intervention in Somalia and alleged manipulation of the organization by external forces. IGAD is made up of Djibouti, Eritrea, Ethiopia, Kenya, Somalia, South Sudan, Sudan, and Uganda. That is the size of Top Accolade African News. You can follow us on our social media platforms as displayed on your screen. Happy Tuesday!